Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. I am James and you are watching Blue Dog Reptiles. Now, I wanted to talk about driftwood and cork today because we get a lot of questions on what is best for your particular reptile. Now, first off, we will go through and talk to you a little bit about each one, and then we'll also tell you about what kind of goes best for each one. Also, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys are absolutely amazing, and we are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. That is a huge milestone for us, and I couldn't do it without each and every one of you and your support. If you are tuning in for the first time, please do consider subscribing, hitting that like and notification bell, and yeah, just stick around. We bring you new videos each and every week. With that being said, I'll quit blabbing. Well, I will keep blabbing, but we'll get talking about the wood. This right here is redwood. Now, redwood isn't as common these days anymore. You don't see it as often. And I throw it around like it's nothing. It is really light wood. You can see I have it actually on slate. And a lot of people actually use it for aquariums, but I actually like it for reptile setups as well. And I can actually show you. This is actually redwood in here. So it does really well. It's a very smooth wood. So I like using it for snakes because you don't have to worry about them cutting. These edges aren't sharp. Depending on the piece, you could use it for like geckos or dragon. Like this piece is really smooth right here. So there's nothing for their claws to get stuck into. Let's say if you had like a bearded dragon. But overall, it's a really amazing piece. It is, however, on the expensive side. Redwood can range in price anywhere from 20 to 150 bucks, depending on the size of the piece, and it goes up from there. We don't carry it that often because of its price range. Cholla wood here, I'm sure you guys have all seen these. Cholla is actually a cactus skeleton. How many of you knew that's what cholla wood was? Let me know down in the comments. Cholla wood is really good. It's hollow. It works really well for desert themed enclosures. I'm not particularly fond of this when it comes to like bearded dragons. I would rather use it for leopard geckos. And that's only because I don't want to risk my bearded dragon getting their nails caught in these holes. This stuff is fairly inexpensive. You can see for a 12-inch piece, it's 20 bucks. And I think when you have like 6 foot, man, I am just on a roll for dropping driftwood today. Jesus. All right. Next up, we have flat cork. This is the most universal piece. Let's see if I can bring down a piece that isn't going to kill me. Flat cork is absolutely awesome. It gives perfect places for hides, for on the ground, or we do lots of enclosures where it's actually sitting up in the background. This is good for snakes, lizards, geckos, so cork is priced out per pound. That's how cork is sold. So the thicker the piece, the heavier piece, the more expensive it's going to be. But overall, when we're talking about doing terrariums, I would say cork is one of my favorites because it's universal, from tarantulas to frogs to geckos to chameleons to dragons. It's beautiful. Then we move over to round cork. Same thing, it's measured out by the pound as far as price goes. If you want a perfect hide or a hollow, then this is your thing. If you guys remembered from previous videos, I'm actually working on the mangroves enclosure, and I actually designed a big piece of round cork to go in there to give her a place to hide. It works really good for hides for snakes. It works really good for dragons to sit up and bask on. Overall, just an absolutely amazing piece of wood. Next we have Grape Vine. Now, Grape Vine, sorry, you were looking at a counter there. Grape Vine, I'm kind of hit and miss with. A, because it tangles like no other, but B, because it has all these big cracks in it. That's why I don't like Grape Vine. I do like Grape Vine for all the knots that are on it, and so it gives it that tree-like structure. Like I have a really massive piece right there. I do like it for that reason, that it has all the knots and the corks, and snakes would be a perfect suit for Grape Vine because of all the knots. They can rest up on it, or if you get really skinny pieces, you could use it for your green tree python. I just wouldn't recommend Grape Vine for anything with claws because, I mean, as you can see, the big cracks going up it. I just don't want to risk my reptiles getting their nails caught up in it and torn out, or dislocating a toe or a finger. But other than that, they're absolutely amazing pieces. Now, these are measured out by size. They typically range anywhere from $30 on up to like a piece like that 5.5 foot one is $200. So just to give you a price comparison. Next, we have Ghostwood. Ghostwood is probably my favorite and my go-to piece of wood. I like it because of how smooth it is. Yes, it does have cracks in it, but they're not deep cracks like the Grape Vine does. It has all the branches on it, so you can use this either as, oh look, you could have like a root structure there, or you could have it looking like a tree. These come in so many different sizes and shapes, and they have more of a natural vibe and look to them. And so for me, they're perfect for snakes, for shedding. They're perfect for dragons or geckos. We actually use Ghostwood, also known as manzanita, in a lot of our enclosures. It's truly one of my favorites. Price, it is a little bit more expensive than Grape Vine, but not by much. It is measured out. That's how it's priced out, by the size. It is typically anywhere from $20 up to about, I think for like a 5 foot piece, they're like 140. So not terrible, but then when you get into like the trees, which we're not even going to cover that. Trees of Ghostwood, that's where it gets really expensive, and that's where it's measured by the foot. And yeah, it's stupid expensive. We actually had some trees for a while, and we sat on them for a very long time. Next up is branchy manzanita. Now, a couple of reasons I like branchy manzanita. A, it looks like a tree. B, you can integrate it into your enclosures and just look like root structures or lots of different varieties. The only downside I do not like about branchy manzanita is it is very, very fragile. We don't let our customers even take it down. We pull it down for them because we don't want to risk one of the branches snapping off. That's the only downside to it. If you were going to put this in with a reptile, I would do something that isn't going to thrash it around, so I wouldn't put a snake with it. I would probably do something like a gecko, like a crested gecko or a gargoyle, or if you had it like pointed down, like I know I have that very large piece, but I don't want to pull that down right now. If you had something like that, then you could have like a leopard gecko or a ground dweller or something like that. But this stuff I use a lot when I'm trying to do root work or something resembling roots, or even like tree structures. It works out very well. It actually worked really well for one snake in particular, and that was actually our green tree python. We actually did an enclosure with that. Next up is Malaysian. Now, Malaysian is a very dark wood. It comes in all different crazy sizes and shapes. Now, Malaysian is a dark wood. It is sold by the pound. And you can see why you couldn't just like measure it out like you would with Ghostwood or Grape Vine. It has to be weighed out. Now, oh, sorry, that is actually a different type of wood. I don't know why it was over here. I was like, that does not feel like Malaysian. But, yep, there we go. Malaysian. Now, these are actually awesome pieces. You can use them as roots or bases or climbing perches. They're really durable. They are heavy. They are very dense wood. So you're gonna be looking at, for small pieces, you could spend like $5 to $10 all the way up into typically about 80 to 100 for larger pieces. I mean, like, look at that, tiny piece. Next up, I'm actually gonna move that piece all the way down here because it's a very rare type of wood that I don't carry a whole lot. I'm sure you guys all recognize this. This is spiderwood. Spiderwood is also measured, well, it's sold by the pound. I've seen so many crazy and intricate pieces. We've used them in, I mean, there's a piece right there. And then when we come over here, you have just awesome types of, I really like I guess I'm not too fond of the little pieces of spiderwood. They work really well for like tarantulas, like these itty bitty little pieces. But I like the big solid pieces. They are pretty smooth. You don't have to worry about your animal getting tangled up in it. Snakes use it, dragons use it, all variations. You could even use it for frogs and stuff like that. Holds up to humidity very, very well. And then last but not least is the piece that I kind of hid away. This is actually called samwood. Samwood is a very dense type of wood. We don't sell it too often. It doesn't come available that much, and a lot of people don't even know what it is. It's actually a very smooth, it almost feels like rock, and but this would work so well for snakes. I wouldn't necessarily use it for geckos. I don't think that they would be able to hold on to it very well. But like bearded dragons and different variations of snakes would be perfect for it. This stuff is pricey though. For a little piece like this, it's about 40 bucks. And then it goes on up. The bigger the piece, the more expensive they are. So, yeah. So, that's all the pieces that we carry in our store, guys, all the different types of woods. Tell me which one is your favorite. Do you, because every terrarium designer has a favorite type of wood to use. What is your favorite? My favorite two would be either Ghostwood or Branchy Manzanita. They're my favorite pieces to work with. What is yours? Let me know down in the comments down below, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, guys, let me know if there is a video that you guys would like to see on care guides. Let me know. And as always, we will see you next week. Thanks for watching.